We keep our hope, of course, because we can't give up.
As Russia's war in Ukraine now enters its fourth year, supporters of Ukraine's freedom gathered throughout the world to show their solidarity, including here in San Diego. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. The grim anniversary comes as Russia launched a record number of drones into Ukraine over the weekend, killing at least 3 people.
CBS 8's Richard Allen is here now with details of the ongoing support for Ukraine and President Trump's push for Ukraine to repay U.S. assistance. Richard?
Well, that's right. And tonight, dozens of supporters of Ukraine and its fight for freedom gathered at Balboa Park, including Ukrainian refugees forced to flee their homeland, all to mark today's somber anniversary, praying that this conflict will soon come to an end. Members of San Diego's Ukrainian community and their supporters came together in solidarity at the House of Ukraine, holding a candlelight vigil to call for peace.
It was very difficult 3 years.
Nina Yeremyahina fled Kyiv in 2022, settling in San Diego after her family had already been forced to flee their small hometown in the Donetsk region after Russia invaded back in 2014.
But for now, I think it's the darkness time for us, because it's difficult to keep your hope.
You don't really have to be a Ukrainian to support Ukrainians. All you have to be is human.
Victoria Popova came to the U.S. from Ukraine in 1996.
3 years of brutal war that Ukrainian nation still standing strong and still has strong hopes and beliefs in victory.
San Diego's show of support for Ukraine comes as many world leaders took part in a summit in Kyiv to demonstrate their support as well.
We must do everything in our power to enable Ukraine to secure a just and lasting peace.
It's time to end this bloodletting and restore peace, and I think we're going to do it. We've had some great conversations, including with Russia.
Meanwhile, at the White House, President Trump met with French President Emmanuel Macron to discuss bringing the war to an end.
I think the war can end soon. Within weeks.
Some of Ukraine's supporters are concerned that negotiations between the U.S. and Russia could end in a less favorable outcome for Ukraine. But here at the House of Ukraine in Balboa Park, hope still persists.
I truly hope and believe that it's going to be a positive outcome for Ukraine.
I think we need to finish this war for sure, but also we need to understand how it's going to be better for our future, not for only future of Ukraine, but for the whole world.
And President Trump has said he is in negotiations to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin today at the White House. He also said he's considering establishing new economic ties between the U.S. and Russia.
So, Richard, this really signals a shifting policy toward Russia, and yet another sign about that shift came at the United Nations today as well.
Well, that's right. There was a resolution to condemn Russia's aggression in Ukraine. The United States voted against that resolution. 93 countries voted for it, condemning Russia. 18 countries voted against it, including the United States, and we were joined by Russia and North Korea. So, as you said, definitely showing this shift in diplomacy.
Also, we understand that President Trump is trying to arrange a deal with Ukraine. We've been talking about that he wants to access their rare earth minerals.
That's right. We're talking about minerals like graphite and lithium. Very rare, very valuable. In fact, President Trump is now pressuring Ukraine to sign an agreement to give the United States access to some of these minerals. President Trump says he believes that Ukraine should repay us, the United States, for the billions in aid we have given in assistance over the past few years. So far, though, Ukraine's President Zelensky has refused that deal.
All right, well, we'll see what happens out of their meeting expected in the coming days. Thanks so much, Richard.
Thank you.